Teams of five strive to survive the releases and budget cuts on the hardest part of the ring. Hey, the hardest part of the ring. Sometimes you go over the top rope and you bang your head on the ring apron. Why do you do that? That's when you feel like a big dope. They're the worst bumps you can be taking. Oh, it's the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Two more. Sometimes you reach out for the hot tag and you go ahead and make your own comeback like they did today. That's when you should quit wrestling and you're better off rolling in thumbtacks. You the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. One more. Sometimes you're distracting that referee, and the babyface has your wrestler pinned. Then you get punched to the ring apron, and you realize all the trouble you're in on the hardest part of the ring. Hey, the hardest part of the ring. Now double claps. What's going on, Bob Squad? It's the 8 millionth annual Survivor Series. They've had a lot of these, and it's for the bragging rights to be on a show that you just arrived at on the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Ba-da-ba-da. Whoa. Yay. What is going on, Bob Squad? I just watched a WWE Survivor Series on Peacock. 35th Survivor Series this one would be, I think. Yeah, from 87 to 01. Yeah, whatever. Oh, this is the Survivor Series. And what happened on a Survivor Series? They talked about how 25 years ago to the day. Is it to the day? I don't really know. The Rock debuted. The Rock debuted in Madison Square Garden in New York City. And 25 years to the day later, they are in New York City. Granted, they don't go to the Garden anymore because it's too expensive. So they go to Barclays, but that's not important right now. They go to one in Brooklyn, which is the borough over from Manhattan, but it still counts as New York City. And it is, Brooklyn and Queens are still very much New York City. Staten Island, stop it. Just stop it, Staten Island. Get the fuck out of here. Okay, get out of here with your one-story buildings and your racist cops. Well, Manhattan's got to get them from somewhere, no? Okay, enough, Bob. Did we go there right away? You went right there? Let's talk about the Survivor Series. We talked about The Rock. They told us about The Rock. They called the. Sometimes they said Uranagi suplex. Sometimes they said rock bottom. And they mentioned The Rock. And The Rock never shows up because he wants nothing to do with this crap. And I don't think it has anything to do with them firing his unvaccinated big cousin. I'm sure it has nothing. He doesn't. He doesn't listen. He doesn't care. I've worked with an entire family that does nothing but drop the Rock's name. Okay, guess what? Guess what? He ain't showing up. Okay, let me take some water. Mm, that is good water, and we're gonna talk about this pay-per-view. Any business to talk about? Sure, yeah, I guess. We'll talk about the end of the show. Let me gather my thoughts. Okay. First, we'll talk about this pay-per-view. I made the error of rushing home because I thought the thing started at 4 p.m. my time, which is 7 p.m. Bianca Belair time. And I was wrong. I got home at the beginning of the pre-show. So the thing starts at 5 p.m. my time, which made it last approximately 9 hours. So I watched other stuff. I put the pre-show down. I let it run in the background on the Windows, but I just put the volume down. I listened to other stuff on YouTube and got some other work done. Just checked in every 10 or 15 minutes and go, anything interesting? To see if they were having a match, and they did. They moved one of their matches to the pre-show. Damian Priest, the U.S. champion, wrestles Shinsuke Nakamura, the Intercontinental champion. Every match on his show is champion versus champion for no reason. The winner gets nothing. At one point in the middle of the pay-per-view, Corey Graves said they get bragging rights for 1 year. Right, but you're not going to talk about it after 3 days. Because you have to show your packages, and then you're done. And they had packages on The Rock. We saw The Rock's package. They put The Rock's throbbing, blue-veined package in our face as much as possible. Damian Priest and Shinsuke Nakamura have a match, and now Damian Priest has a new badass edge. And this is the first time that I've seen a couple of SmackDown people in a while. So I've never seen Shinsuke Nakamura with Rick Boogs playing the guitar while he wrestles before. And that when Shinsuke is in a hold, like a chin lock, for example, and he's firing up, and he's looking like he's down, Rick Boogs plays the guitar to wake him up. I didn't know this. I didn't know this was going to be the thing, but it was, and it was weird, distracting, and I got confused. Brooklyn didn't seem to care much. Anyway, eventually Priest gets annoyed, and Rick Boogs, even though he's jacked, and a tired Damian Priest is coming after him, Rick Boogs cowers, and Priest takes his guitar and breaks it over his knee, and then he hits Boogs, and then Priest hits Shinsuke Nakamura with the part of the guitar, and Priest is disqualified. So they say SmackDown is 1-0 now. Okay, I don't know what SmackDown gets. There's no incentive. I can't make this point. I can't drive it home enough. There's no reason to have any of these matches. This pay per view might as well have not happened. Doesn't make any sense. Then we have the Rock's long package. We start the show. Finally, we start the show, but we never start the show. The 5 p.m. start time it's like wait 12, 13 minutes before you think you're going to see a lockup on a wrestling show on these things. It's always the same. What match was first? Hold on, Rock's long package. Oh, then we had another long package after Rock's long package. We had a long package on the entire event and all the feuds, and then we had a third long package about Becky Lynch and Charlotte. Means Becky Lynch and Charlotte will be opening the show. And if they can't close the show, the Roman Reigns. He always goes last, if you noticed. They have to open the show with the match. Really, the most intrigue, the most heat, the most story was this match. And Charlotte comes out first, all in black, to represent the blue brand. And then Becky comes out in red to represent the red brand, and then her butt's hanging out. And then the two of them wrestle and have a very good match, and they lay their stuff in. And Becky's the interim babyface in the situation. She's the one everyone wants to win. So Charlotte takes most of the heat, and Charlotte dominates and does a big fancy moonsault where really Becky didn't catch her so good. And Charlotte does the Andrade miss the moonsault, do the moonsault again thing, and I was like, I don't know. Oh, she also did that boot, miss the boot, go for that elbow thing, which looked like they butted heads. She's got to stop doing the Andrade moves. We get it, okay? Yeah, Charlotte, I got news for you. You're the bigger star, okay? He should just be doing your moves, okay? He should do the figure eight and the natural selection and the woo, which is really hilarious. He should do the woo, the chops. He should hit the turnbuckle upside down and run the apron, and then run to the other turnbuckle and get gorilla slammed. Then Andrade should get beat up in the corner, walk out, and do a face flop. Why doesn't he do that? Oh man, it'd be awesome. No one's gonna. Nobody listens to Bob. They have this match, and there's an oak. Becky does hit her rock bottom. Of course, it was near the ropes. Anyone and their mother can see that. Charlotte gets the rope. Charlotte goes for your Connor roll, tries to hook the rope for extra leverage. Referee catches her. She gets rolled back by Becky. Becky does not hook the rope until the last split 2 and 7/8 seconds, which does kind of fuck Charlotte, by the way, when Becky waits that long to cheat, but the announcers cover for it, like, oh, we should wait until the very last second. And Charlotte gets pinned, and of course, Charlotte can't sell the fact that she's upset that she lost. So she has to laugh off the fact that she lost the match and make it less meaningful. I didn't know it could be made less meaningful. Charlotte found a way to make this mean less. Then tomorrow, Becky's going to have to be a heel against Liv Morgan. Cool, sure, okay. Smacked in the face with long packages. Speaking of long packages, the Men's Survivor Series is next. And the Raw men, oh, Jesus, sounds weird. The Raw men, they enter in this order. Bobby Lashley, Austin, nope, I'm wrong. All right. Bobby Lashley, Austin Theory, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, and Seth Rollins versus in SmackDown in this order. I believe King Woods entered first, then it was Jeff Hardy, then Sheamus, then Happy Corbin I saw for the first time. That sucked. And Drew McIntyre, the biggest star, current star in the SmackDown thing. And this is when Corey Graves said the line, "The year's worth of bragging rights," and I laughed out loud. It's 2 days worth of bragging rights over nothing. Also, they used to have a pay-per-view called Bragging Rights, just so you know, and everyone hated it. So they put it on Survivor Series. Oh God, this is awful. We start the match the exact same way we started 1 year ago. We start this match with Kevin Owens insisting that he locks up. He gets in the ring. Yeah, I must start. He argues with Seth Rollins. You got to let me start. I get to start. Seth finally says, "Okay, fine, you start." Kevin Owens gets in the ring. He kicks the rope. He gets all excited, fired up. Everyone's going nuts. Owens rolls out of the ring, leaves, gets countered out. Doesn't want to be there. Okay. Didn't last year's Survivor Series, Seth was on the SmackDown side, and he got in the ring first and spaced out and stared at his hands and walked away and got counted out? It's literally the same thing with the same guys. Well, he did fire. So Kevin Owens is gone. Then Happy Corbin, so he wears fancy shirts. And that idiot from NXT who tagged the other idiot, who thankfully isn't there. Um, Corbin got eliminated by Finn Balor somehow. And Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley were brawling on the outside, and they both got counted out. And I think Drew hit the Claymore on Lashley or something to make everyone happy. So, okay. So now it's 3-on-3, and then you know what happened next? I fell asleep. I woke up and they were doing another package, I think, or something. I looked on Twitter and Seth Rollins won this thing somehow. So I had a good 20-minute nap. I feel refreshed. And then it gets stupid. There's a limousine. No one rides in limousines anymore. They take town cars and shit. There's a limousine. Vince McMahon's old ass gets out of there. And he's holding a golden egg. I'm not kidding. I can't explain this show to some, because only someone who regularly watches this show understands the stupidity of it all. Vince McMahon is a golden egg. And this is when we have to make every wrestler look stupid. Because everyone has got nothing to do. There was Sonya Deville. I think Dana Brooke. I don't know, a bunch of guys from catering. They all lost their minds. Lost their minds like children. That's another theme. The adults acting like children. They lost their minds. I can't. Oh, the golden egg. Oh. So everyone looks like an idiot. Nobody knows why. We find out why a little later. And then we go to a segment. Vince McMahon is in his office. And Roman Reigns comes in and says, "You wanted to see me?" And Vince says, "Oh, Roman, I got this. Your cousin, The Rock, gave me this $100 million golden egg. It's not a replica. It's actually Cleopatra's golden egg." And it was really dumb. And Roman Reigns stared at him like he didn't give a shit. And then Vince McMahon cannot stop going on about his egg and how it cost $100 million. And Roman says, "Oh, you mean like my next contract?" And then Vince looks at him sideways, and Roman leaves. And then it got dumber because we have a battle royal, which could have been on a pre-show, wasn't. And this is the new thing with pay-per-views in the last year or so, where they have to have some kind of product tie-in in the least funny way possible. They did it with the Super Soaker Water thing in SummerSlam. There were a couple of years in a row they did like a KFC thing where Michaels, Flair, or somebody would dress up like the KFC guy and get beat up or something like that. This one was for Pizza Hut. And there was a big Raw versus SmackDown Battle Royal, which is ridiculous. Only one person can win a Battle Royal. And Omos is throwing everyone out. But the theme of this Battle Royal was Pizza Hut pizza. And the Street Profits and R-Truth, uh-oh, got saddled with the duty of selling the stupid fucking pizza. And it was either the Profits or Truth who tempted to give the pizza to Byron Saxton, who lost his mind. Lost his freaking mind at that. You thought you were giving the guy a Porsche. Lost his mind at the idea of getting Pizza Hut pizza. And then they give it to Michael Cole instead, and Michael Cole laughs and celebrates, and Graves is happy. Like Byron's never seen pizza before. R-Truth tries to give a piece of pizza to Omos, and Otis eats it instead, and Omos throws them both out or something. The show is in Brooklyn, New York City. New York City is known for a few things. As far as food item goes, it's known for its bagels, and it's known for its pizza. It's kind of a famous thing. I just moved away from there after 8 years. I don't remember seeing a Pizza Hut in Manhattan or Brooklyn or Queens, because who would go? I think there's some Domino's here or there. They must exist. And there's, yes, I know someone's going to say, well, there's chains that are made to not look like chains, but there are chains like Ray's Famous Pizza, because there's one in Times Square, there's one in this other place, blah 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 blah. Okay, I know, I'm aware of that. Pizza's pro. I don't even know if I had Ray's. I bet you it's probably still really fucking good. Okay, let it go. Only my place down the street, my specific area of Queens or Brooklyn, is the best place to shut the hell up. Yes, you got good pizza. Congratulations. And please, nobody do the Chicago versus New York pizza, which is best. Who cares? Get a life. Get over it. You don't need it's worthless bragging rights, is the theme. But wrestlers, athletes, are not only losing their minds at the idea of pizza, they're losing their minds over Pizza Hut pizza in front of 15,000 New Yorkers. Was this gonna? No one's mouth watered for Pizza Hut. The Street Profits threw the some pieces out to the people. I'm surprised it didn't get thrown back. The pizza itself looked like it was like kids play food, or like it was like painted up like in a commercial, like you can't actually eat that food. It looked terrible. So Omos wins this fucking battle royal. At the end, they did a thing. Omos was in there with, I think, the Street Profits and Ricochet, and of course Montez could only act goofy now. And anyway, it's Ricochet and Omos, and obviously everyone and their mother. When the bell rings to start this, we all know Omos is winning, and that's why this show is so depressing. Because just the sad, predictable, evil and might will always win all the time. These underdogs got to win sometime. Anyway, Ricochet was getting everyone behind him. Everyone was going nuts. And Ricochet could have gotten some kind of skin of his teeth. Barely beats Omos, maybe even on a technicality, battle royal type of win or something. And instead, Omos just wins it. We could have made Ricochet here. Because Omos, they were counting he threw out 12 people. If Omos threw out 11 people, and then Ricochet, like barely hanging on by a thread, got one over on him, you could have made Ricochet. Omos would be in the exact same position that he'll be in tomorrow anyway. Tall and on a push going nowhere. That's where he is. He's got one of those pushes to nowhere. Wouldn't have made a difference if Omos missed something and it just both his feet touched the apron, or not the apron, as hard as part of the thing, touched the floor somehow, and Ricochet just barely got him. But nope, Omos wins. Let's be predictable. And sad. Speaking of predictable and sad, what happens next? Oh, Sami Zayn did something stupid. There were picnic tables for the pizza battle royal, whatever the hell it was. Sami Zayn got together it was Ricochet and another SmackDown guy to help him win, but anyway, they all got thrown out. I don't really know. It made everyone look like a dumbass. Then we have RK Bro over the Usos, and Yes, so this is the Raw Tag Team Champions, Randy Orton and Riddle, versus the SmackDown Champions, Jimmy and Jey Uso. I was surprised. I actually thought the Usos were going to win because Roman always wins and blah, 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 blah. And they were just going to go the predictable way. But they also made a point to tell us on media over the weekend that on this day, Randy Orton breaks the record for most appearances on a WWE pay per view. And I think the same for Raw goes tomorrow night, whatever. So they wanted to make it special, and the fans had clearly gotten wind of it. You could tell by the reaction when he was doing stuff. Cool finish here when Uso hits the splash on Riddle off the rope. But even though Riddle still gets splashed, Orton hits that RKO to the Uso and pins him or something. And there you go. There you go. So somebody was happy for a minute. And don't get too cozy because I think I think this was the next egg segment. I forgot to write it down. Anyway, there's another egg segment where Vince McMahon tells Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville, "You gotta find my egg. The egg is missing." I forgot to tell you. Yes, the $100 million golden egg is missing, and he tells Pierce, first of all, it's Brooklyn, so anyone in Brooklyn could have stolen it or something like that. I think Heyman said that later. I'll get to that. He's probably one of the WWE superstars, so we'll consider you keep firing them. They're hard up for money, so it's going to be an ongoing storyline. So basically, it appears that tomorrow night's or tonight's Raw, by the time you hear this, the next Monday Night Raw will be the 3 hours will be centered around finding out who stole the golden egg. Nah, he's not out of touch. For all the Stooges, all the Bruces and Johnnies who are there, he's not out of touch. You don't understand. Blah blah blah. No one cares about the golden egg. We knew about it for 1 second, and then it was stolen. And Vince is old and crazy. And then we give away the real fakeness of it all because Peacock, if you watch on the NBC Peacock app, interrupts everything with commercials. So right after this "Who Stole the Golden Egg" segment, we have the commercial for The Rock's movie, who The Rock kayfabe gave Vince this $100 million golden egg, and the story of the new Rock, Gal Gadot, somebody else heist movie is that an expensive golden egg was stolen. So they just told you the whole show's fake, and that they're going along with this to kiss Rock's ass. He's not there. He doesn't know about. He doesn't know his name. I'm sure he didn't approve his name to be invoked. That he bought Vince this golden egg. They're just pretending, hoping that he does the WrestleMania match and Brock is the safe backup. Even though no one wants to see it, they think we do, but they don't have stars anyway because they fire anyone just when they get over. So tomorrow's show is going to be about an egg. I hope all they do is just take the piss out of it and go use a lot of puns. Like Adam Pearce could say, "Well, I'm looking for the egg. I have my assistants scrambled all over the place for it." I hope they at least use that line. The Women's Survivor Series match is next. Is this over yet? The Women's Survivor Series match is next. On Raw, it is. Oh. Carmella, who's a one dimensional cartoon who just says I'm beautiful the whole time. Zelena, who is a one dimensional queen because she won the Queen of the Ring. Here's how stupid they are. And this is an out of touch old man Vince thing. You're a queen, you're British. Okay, a couple of things. I'm no history major by any stretch of the imagination. Other countries do have queens. Also, Zelena Vega. Do you know what part of New York she's from? Are you ready? Because they said it. She's from Queens. Remember the big joke in Coming to America? Oh, I need to find a new queen. Which part of New York? I'll go to Queens. Hey, remember that Kevin James show, that sitcom that was popular? Had a good run. Had a good run in the 2000s. He lived in Queens. He was the king of Queens. She should be the queen of Queens. Zelena Vega. And I know most of the U.S. doesn't really know a whole hell of a lot about or anything about Queens in New York. fair, but they know what New York City is. Okay, it's you can make it work and not go too deep. She doesn't have to talk about Flushing. Okay, not Flushing the toilet. Flushing is the most eastern part of Queens. I think it's where the Mets play. Naturally, it's where the AEW big show happened. Naturally, it all happens in Flushing. A story of the part of Queens I lived to was the most western part of Queens on the East River, closest to Manhattan, and there's a bunch of crap in between. Jackson Heights, Sunnyside, Elmhurst, Forest Hills, something with an R. It is not important. No one goes there. It just floods a lot. Okay, but no, she can't stop waving Zelena. Okay, I'm sorry. So Carmella, Zelena on Raw, along with Rhea Ripley, one half the tag team champion. Her partner isn't even mentioned. Bianca Belair, of course, and somebody else. Liv Morgan. Okay, so there's five of them, and they wrestle Tony Storm. Who I love to see Tony Storm. I absolutely love everything about Tony Storm. Apparently, she's dropping the '80s Wild Child thing because my guess is that Vince does not understand what that is. When I saw Tony Storm trending on Friday, I'm not kidding. I thought she was fired because they weren't doing anything with her, and everyone's getting fired. A bunch of people got fired the day of or the day after, I forget. And turns out she was the fifth replacement person. So Tony Storm, Natalia Neidhart. They never say Neidhart. Shayna Baszler, Shotzi, who is no longer Shotzi Blackheart. She's just plain old Shotzi. Plain old sloppy. She has green hair. And she's a heel, even though the youth are always going to look at her and see her as a baby face, even if I don't like her. I understand why she should be a baby face, but she isn't. She's a heel for no reason. Captained by Sasha Banks. So Carmella's a cartoon and only cares about putting on a mask, so she gets rolled up without doing any wrestling by Tony Storm. Zelena Vega got hit with a big move, got eliminated by Tony Storm again. Tony Storm is out of there by Liv Morgan. Somehow Liv Morgan hit her wacky finish on Storm, a lot of commotion. Liv was taken out by Sasha somehow, I forget how. Rhea Ripley taken out by Shayna Baszler. Huh, how did that happen? Who the hell knows? It's the Survivor Series. Everyone gets beaten easier, just like at WrestleMania. It takes 5 finishes to beat you. At the Survivor Series, it just takes someone's sub finish to beat you. Uh, okay, anyway, more importantly, they set this thing up. I gotta lay down here. I hope you can still hear me. The hip hurts. Everything hurts. It's Bianca Belair on Raw versus 4 people, and because none of them can get along, and they have sloppy Blackheart be so stupid. She irrationally hates Sasha. They never really explain why. So she keeps tagging herself in and screwing it all up. Sasha starts brawling with her on the outside, and Shayna hits one of them. And Natalia comes up and hits Sasha, and I have no idea. That made no sense. She had no reason to be mad at anybody. Because it's WWE. None of the women can get along. Sasha gets counted out. And then I think Bianca goes on to beat the 3 of them. She beats Natty somehow, I think with a roll up of some kind. Somehow she beats Shayna, I forget, and she hits her finish on Shotzi. A last. And Bianca wins. Good victory for Bianca. Great reaction for Bianca coming out. Bianca looks like a star. They're still treating her like a star. Um, I think Bianca as a sole survivor was the right thing to do. Everyone wanted to see Bianca and Sasha. And it just occurred to me that with them on different shows, I guess we're really not going to get it. Um, Normally, I'd say, do we really want to be beating Sasha? Because we need some credible opponents for Charlotte. But Charlotte's going to beat everyone forever anyway, so what's the difference? Maybe Bianca with the 1, 2, 3 on Sasha in the middle might have been the very, very best, but this was pretty good. Um, the one-dimensional cartoonishness they've done to Carmella and Zelina. And Dewdrop, who wasn't here. I thought Dewdrop was going to run out and cost Bianca. They didn't even mention her. Maybe she got released. I didn't know it. I don't know. They didn't mention Nikki Cross either. I was awake the whole time, so I have no idea. Maybe they were. I didn't really get a good look. Maybe they were all outside having a stroke because Vince McMahon has a golden egg. Oh shit! Where the hell are you, Puss in Boots? Fucking me. Oh, there's a backstage segment. Paul Heyman's walking around. Caleb Braxton scares him and tells him that Brock Lesnar's suspension is a rumor that it might be lifted, and Paul Heyman freaks out. Okay, let me take some more water. We'll talk about the main event. Credit to the 15,000 people in Brooklyn. They were trying to have a good time and get into this match despite no one in the building thinking Big E was winning this. And I got to see the build, and I hated that I knew they were going to beat up Woods. I hated that they stepped on his crown and crushed it. And I didn't see Woods come out with a crown for the thing, but I saw his King gimmick, and he had different music and stuff. And I liked it. The people were behind him. It seemed like the people were behind him. So, man, Woods is the sole survivor. It might have helped something. People seem to like him, so they have to punish him. Punish us for not liking the thing we're supposed to like. So Big E and Roman Reigns have this match, and we knew it was going to start slow and build, and that's fine. That's fine. I like the way Roman does it. It didn't have the insane long speeches in the middle of it. It had some talking, but not. I don't think it was egregious or offensive. That as Roman's gotten a little carried away with giving entire monologues in the middle of these matches. But they were telling the story that he's not focused. Big E's in his head, and Roman had to slowly get his focus together. And Big E was competitive with Roman. Big E did kick out of one of the spears, which is important. I do not know if Roman kicked out of any of the big endings. I know he got the rope on one of them at least, which is fine. I don't think he did. I think that's good. They had their match. There was no Uso interference or Woods. I guess Kofi's hurt. Because if the Usos did interfere, then and Woods ran out, well then okay, it's still 2-on-1 as far as all the running buddies go. So what would you do? I say if Kofi was there, then have at some point, not near the finish, but just out come the Usos, out come the New Day. Uh, get him in, get him out, acknowledge it, get it out of the way. I don't know if you can hear this. Somebody's speeding on the highway. Big E had a good showing against Roman. The story they were telling is that Big E tweaked his knee at some point. Um, I was really impressed with which they made it. They led into the finish with it. Um, Nice they didn't do the stupid barricade spot. I'm so happy they didn't do this. Someone's got to get speared through the barricade, and because Big E does that spear where you're standing on the apron, which is the hardest part of the ring, and he did do it to Roman. Um, I thought Roman was going to spear Big E through the stupid barricade. I really did, because they always do, especially in Roman matches. But no, they didn't do that. No announced table broke. No regular table got pulled out. No plunder, as Dusty Rhodes would have said. They didn't do any of that in this match. Roman does beat him. He beats him clean, but cheap-ish, which I was happy with. He just chop blocked the knee and hit the spear and got the 1, 2, 3. There was a great exchange of power where Big E, I don't know, I think it was that stretch muffler submission hold he does where he has the back of Roman's leg around his own head. Somehow Roman picks himself up out of that, goes and gets a sunset flip out of it, which is really impressive. I don't like it when big guys do all the cruiser moves, whether it's a big jumping dive thing or something off the top or a weird wiggle out. But this was really rare, and they did it once, and I've never seen Roman do it. So that was cool. That was cool. Then Roman countered one of something where he was in one of those arm bars, and he rolls out and he presses Big E. Oh, he pulls Big E up and slams him down like that old Bob Backlund thing. You put it in an arm bar and he rolls back on his feet. He picks you up and gives you a belly to back suplex with it. So they traded those two like crazy show off power things. Um, it looked like two ass kickers. Clearly, these are two guys we all know can beat our asses. A little strange or silly to see Big E to be in these goofy, colorful tights in this match with stuff written on it. It was kind of a I don't know. I wonder if he shoots himself in his foot doing that. Roman wins, and I was wondering, are we hearing Brock's music? Or are we hearing Rock's music? What are we hearing? We heard nothing. We heard Roman's music, and we went off the air. Those are credits. Okay. To me, it looks like Brock wins the Rumble. That's what I'm guessing. Again, I don't know what the February thing is. Are they still doing a chamber thing? I don't know. Did they even do one this year? Probably did. I don't remember it. Oh, that's worth getting hurt over. Oh, pardon me. I'm yawning through this just thinking about the Survivor Series. Well, it was an unnecessary show. In a way, it was so forgettable. It was memorable just because of the oddity of it. Like, why are we doing any of this? But keeping each other busy. I think Kofi's injury kind of messes up the whole Bloodline New Day feud. It's just kind of off balance or whatever. But what's done is done. Hopefully, we can move on. What does Big E do next? What does Roman Reigns do next? I don't know. Roman Reigns will go back to SmackDown, and SmackDown will be the Roman Reigns Paul Heyman show. Um, Big E will. Oh, he's supposed to wrestle Seth Rollins at some point. Okay, so I guess that makes sense why Seth won the thing then. Hmm. Yeah, well, okay. So Big E will Seth build Seth as much up so Big E can wrestle Seth. Who knows? Seth might beat him. They don't seem too big on last year. And also another thing, last year at the Survivor Series, Roman Reigns beat the Raw champion, and it's the exact same title reign. It's just 1 year later. He got it in September, late August, 2020. So he had it for a few months and did the beat Drew McIntyre, and now a year and a few months later, beats Big A. It's the same title reign. It's always the same show. In the Immortal Worlds, come on, Bob. Oh, I'm tired. I'm sorry, guys. In the immortal words of the great Phil Collins, it's always the same. It's just a shame. That's all. Well, slumber is calling me. I can feel it calling in the air tonight. But, my friends, this is the world we live in. And these are the hands we're given, so let's use them and start trying to make it a better place. Because there's too many men, there's too many people, there's too many problems, and not much love to go around. Don't you know it's the hardest part of the ring? The hardest part of the ring. Ba-da-ba-da.